new. KBOB 89.9 FM. Black on Black Community Radio.
This is KBOB 89.9 FM, Tulsa. And now streaming 24/7 live from the Eden Media Studio. 24/7 live at KBOB899.com.
2Dawgs, are you ready? Breakdown raw, breakdown raw, breakdown raw. First off, you want it, you gon' get it. High notes and abuse, custom fitted. Joining yo, talking plus they live it. Fun and laughs, they gon' give it. Match up for the week, this your spot. Never fumble the ball, always call. 2Dawgs, bar for state fight. There's the bell, let's start the fight. What's up? It's the 2Dawgs Sports Talk Show coming at you this Tuesday afternoon here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where it's you got this crazy weather here. It's cold and rainy. You on here with Drone and Yo. Hey, what's going on, Yo?
Bruh, this is why a lot of people stay sick around the town. You can't decide. You know, last week you could wear shorts. This week you got to have on a coat and jeans.
Hey man, didn't we have this talk last week? We said that you don't do spring cleaning food, but just you don't put your winter clothes up. You keep them out.
Bruh, I almost put on my North Face today. I was like, man, it's supposed to be like this today and tomorrow, and then this weekend supposed to be in the 60s. It ain't supposed to be back 70 until next Monday.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's kind of cool. I like this because now the draft is Thursday. It'll be rainy, and it's supposed to rain this weekend. So guess what I'll be doing? I'll be watching the draft.
Sitting at home chilling. Yeah. Hey, but we got a hot show for you now. We're going to go ahead and get into it. We're not going to do grandparent talk today because we got a special guest. We want to make sure y'all tune in. We got Mr. Wishbone Wizard himself, Thomas Lott, number 6, Mr. Bandana, the first black OU quarterback to ever start a game for Oklahoma Sooners. He will be on the show. But hey, man, we got to go ahead and get into it, man, because we got a lot to talk about. We got Aaron Rodgers talk about. Aaron Rodgers finally a Jet. It don't mean a cotton pick a thing because they still ain't finna go to the Super Bowl. What say y'all?
So this is what I don't get. Now he's talking about he gonna be at OTAs, he gonna be at mini camps. Well, when you had your new receiving squad in Green Bay, you didn't show up to none of that.
Well, because you gotta understand. If I'm tired of the woman I'm with, I ain't finna all out.
So you
I ain't finna take to go that extra mile.
So you saying he was sick and tired?
Yeah, he was sick and tired. And so he did just enough what he had to do. So if I got a woman and I'm sick and tired or whatever, you sick and tired, you're gonna do just enough. You're gonna go to work, you're gonna pay the bills.
Bare minimum. Okay.
And that's what it was. He was sick and tired. Now he got a new woman. And so now he got to show out. He had to go all out because he got to make her feel special. So he got to make her feel good.
So he got to wine and dine.
Yeah, he got to wine and dine. You know, he got to take her to Ruth Chris. You know, he can't take her to McDonald's or when if you've been settled for a while, you might go to McDonald's and get away with it. Yeah. Now he got to go to Ruth Chris. He got to go to Prime. You know, he got to go these fancy steak places. Yeah, these fancy steak places where you get your coat checked and all this other stuff. You know, he got to show that I'm something, even though he's nothing. He got to make her believe that he all that. You know what I'm saying?
I still, I'm like, okay, you acting like the Jets was like the only team in his division. You got to face Josh Allen twice. You got to face the Patriots twice.
But this is what they look. Okay, Patriots. Okay, you're right. Okay, so
you got to face Miami.
But this is what they're looking at. Last year without a quarterback,
they almost made the playoffs.
Okay. And they split with the Jets. And so now that they feel they got a quarterback,
they feel they can go all the way.
Yeah, but I still don't think you got to understand that AFC. If Denver get their act together, that AFC is going to be a juggernaut. It's going to be a knockout, drag-out juggernaut.
Because it's teams in pretty much every division of the AFC.
Yeah, that you're going to have to go through. It's not going to be just cut and dry. You're not going to be able to just do whatever you want to do and expect to make it through.
Unless you face the AFC South. That's probably the weakest division in the NFL.
AFC South.
That's the Colts, the Titans,
the Texans,
the Jaguars,
and
the Texans.
Oh no! You got one up in the Jaguars. I think Doug Peterson got them up and coming. Okay. The Texans, I think it's going to take them at least 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to give the new coach at least 2 or 3 years to get something done, to get things situated.
Well, I heard they really don't want. I think they're number 2. Is that right? They got the number 2 pick.
Yeah,
and they talking about, since they don't really want the quarterback, which would be C.J. Stroud, because they saying Bryce Young is going to be number 1. So now they trying to trade back and get more picks.
I would. Well.
So they can be in the sweepstakes for next year.
Well, everybody counting on old Caleb.
Yeah, everybody want Caleb.
And plus the receiving core next year is supposed to be top notch.
Yeah. So I'm like, they already trying to line up to get Caleb?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. They already lined up trying to get Caleb. But it's supposed to be interesting. Like I said, we got the draft this week.
Yep.
At the end of the month.
Yep.
Mini camps and stuff start opening, rookie mini camps, things of that nature, training, OTAs, things of that nature start happening. So it's supposed to get very interesting. You're going to start seeing people moving around. Who's going to go, who's
going to get paid Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, it's supposed to be interesting. Now, what's the key is, because there was a rumor for a minute there that Baltimore Ravens was looking at C.J. Stroud.
What?
Yeah. It was going around. I was watching. I watch all kinds of sports.
Yeah.
It was going around that Baltimore Ravens might be looking into getting C.J. Stroud.
So they was gonna trade Lamar?
I don't know.
Even though y'all franchise him?
If he dropped that far, I could franchise him. But if he don't sign the franchise contract,
okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah, OBJ coming too.
Hey, OBJ came for the money, dog. What nobody first give OBJ what he got?
Hey.
What nobody first give him what he got?
True, but I'm just telling y'all, OBJ is not coming to block.
No, he's not. He coming to catch.
He coming to catch.
He coming to catch some balls, and it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Football is getting very, very interesting. Like I said, if B.J. Robinson drops to about 16, 17, Dallas is at number 26. They're going to move up to get him.
I don't think he's going to go that far, because everybody's, what I've been seeing is the Eagles is real high on the Texas running back.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
And they're talking about, because didn't they let Miles Sanders go?
Yeah, Sanders gone.
Yeah, they let him go. So they need a running back, and look who's coming down the pike.
It's supposed to be interesting. The first 10 picks is supposed to be very interesting.
Yes,
we know who number 1 is going to be.
Yeah, Bryce Young. But I hope CJ just goes to a right program where he can show that he's a top caliber quarterback. Because I hate when you put your film, you got film. It ain't like he ain't did everything he's supposed to do on the football field. He competed at the highest level and almost made it to the national championship.
Well, but what it is, they feel that he didn't show it during the season, and what he did in the semi games was different. What he did against Georgia, he hadn't shown that all year, so that was different. So, but you know, the longer things go, the more fault they find with you.
Yeah, but it seemed like they only do this to a few. They don't ever like if you're like totally solid, they kind of don't say nothing. But if they have any questions, even though you didn't put out great film, they still want to nitpick and be like, well, we don't know. Yeah, he can make all the throws, but
that's what they do.
But okay, the Kentucky quarterback, his passing percentages in the 50s. He's like 58% completion passing. CJ Stroud is 73.
Well, they coming out on no. They not on Howell Levis no more neither.
Well, they were talking about he was like the third or fourth quarterback, and I'm like,
they're not really too high on Levis. They say he get too caught up in his arm.
Yeah, he tried to squeeze balls, and like it'll be a single coverage guy. He won't throw it to him. He'll throw it to the dude in double coverage. Who does that, yo?
Yeah, they not too high on Levis right now.
I'm like, bro, but they always do this. They hype up the one cat. He might not have a whole bunch of games, but he might have a elite arm strength, and so they'd be like, "Oh, he's the next best thing." Bro, if it's not on tape by now, it's not gonna get on tape unless he go to a quarterback whisper.
It's supposed to be interesting. Like I said, it's supposed to be interesting.
I'm just saying, bro. I just get tired of a dude who's played at an elite level in college, and he didn't put out excellent tape. And when it comes down to the nitty gritty, you show up and play ball. Leave the boy alone. The boy didn't show what he can do. Now if the team likes, all he got to have is 1 out of 32 like him.
Somebody gonna he gonna get picked up. It just all depends on where he go. But we know we supposed to go to a quick commercial. Right now we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be right back on the 2Dawgs Sports Talk Show.
How to order chicken wings. Number 1, find a good wing spot.
I know a wing spot, Max Wings.
Number 2, decide if you want a combo or if you want to order a la carte.
Huh? What's that?
Well, combos come with chicken, veggie sticks, fries, and a drink for a discounted price. A la carte means that you order each item separately.
Ah, okay.
3, decide if you want bone-in, boneless, or cauliflower wings, and then determine the delicious flavor you want on your wings.
I didn't even know cauliflower had wings.
You learn something new every day. Have you been to Max Wings?
Yep.
Max Wings is located at 782 East Pine Street in Tulsa. We're open Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come to Max Wings, home of the dry rub fries.
The 36th Street North Event Center is a full-scale event center where we share the experiences of the community. At the event center, you can rent space for weddings, birthday parties, receptions, concerts, Greek events, quinceañeras, and much more. We also do custom decor, linen, and centerpieces. We're located at 1125 East 36th Street North. To book your next special event, business gathering, or community event, call us at 918-200-9046.
The devil gon' bless you, ready to tempt and stress you. Money, women, we too, resist your soul, stuff we do. Resist your body's a temple, resist, deny that simple. Lust got you ready to bust like a pimple, filthy divide that temple. Ready to let loose, I might get to touch you. Mad bitch was wild, that's Tupac in the movie too. That's the different topic. Best believe you better stop it. Judge, jury, execution, the gavel, about to drop it. Life is just a vapor, done too many capers. Check my resume, I got crimes up in them papers. Licks like suckers, better yet now or later. Hit skid row, I'm so thankful for my savior. Righteous anger, Mac 11 is a banger. Shout out to Trey 9 and them kids up in the hangar. Stranger danger, satanic rearranger. Bad, supposed to be good, vans with the fang slur. My past like a blur, don't know where I've been. Blacked out for years, woke up in the pen, drowning in sin through a life jacket. Now a savior, submitted to the spirit, receive God's favor. Yeah, I'm dripping sauce, got too many flavors. What up, Muggy? Shout out to my neighbors, been choked by cops, pepper sprayed and tasered. All part of persecution to me, it's nothing major. Was a stunt double in how to be a player. Shed many tears, onions, I got layers. That met Judas and smoked doughs within traders. Quit having pity parties cause they are never catered. Receive peace in his presence. I'm a king, been treated like a peasant. I took it and smiled, my demeanor's always pleasant. Soared with them eagles, avoid them chicken and them pheasants. Y'all call them lessons, no, that's a loss. Sin producing death, it all comes with a cost. Healthy don't need a doctor, the sick and the lost is who I came for. I work for the boss. Life is just a vapor, done did too many capers. Check my resume, I got crimes up in them papers. Full licks like sutters, better yet now or later. Hit skid row, I'm so thankful for my savior. Trust he saved me, he's coming for you next. I know your life is a mess, you got stress on your chest. You're blind to the truth, and you, he sees the best. Satan's a tick, I flee a nuisance, a pest. Resist, he must flee to the left. Give your life to Christ, in him we find rest. Keep on the full armor of God, that's a bulletproof vest. Yes, Jesus love you, the answer is yes.
Get a slam dunk like man up. Enemy salty ran up. It's a foul move and one. Say man. Jesus, I own my life. I'ma shine bright as a light. I don't need diamonds to shine. I just keep God on my mind, dog. Give him my altar like sign, watch me be like fine, dog. Hey. I call God, yeah. Jesus, he the reason I be rapping, singing in the hood and trenches. I don't need a mention, this is not a prison. I got rescued, not arrested, now I'm living. I be Holy Spirit, sipping Bible token. I was chosen for this moment, devil token home, and you don't believe me? Take a look, a few years ago, I paroled, I was in the basement, just a bed and clothes. Prayer work, I'ma let you know. Now I'm saving souls all around the globe. Preaching Jesus' name, it's the only hope, yeah, yeah. He's the only hope, he's the only hope. He's the only one that can save my soul. Yeah, double getting mad cause his jack gets wet. I be stopping on the double like back to back, yeah. Back to back, like back to back, yeah. Back to back, like back to back.
I just got that people to assist. The song was curved with the dish. KJ follow two fish. Isolation, big risk. Yeah. I wait to his win. Resist the devil's sin. Back to fin. Forget the glamour and glitz. He put me out of the pit. I'm on fire, I'm lit. Living what I said. With a rock crossover, Jahara. Show her easy it is. Supernova. Walls falling down. Bulldozer on the road. Range Rover. Yeah. GC saved my life. Garments are sparkling white. We are the bride of Christ. Rebuke Illuminati. We illuminating. Woke the bear, been hibernating. Mask off, quit perpetrating. God's truth, don't believe in faking now.
He's the only hope, he's the only hope. He's the only one that can save my soul. Yeah, double getting mad cause his jack gets wet. I be stopping on the double like back to back, yeah. Back to back, like back to back, yeah. Back to back. like back to back. Hey.
Welcome back to the 2Dawgs Sports Talk Show. That was back to back. Y'all know how we do that. That was Resin and Trinity Trey with back to back. All right, y'all. We got our special guest on the line right now that's supposed to come on. How you doing today, sir?
I am doing great. What about you?
We're doing good. Everybody, we have the Wishbone Wizard himself, Mr. Bandana. You know, someone I looked up to when I was younger, seen him play so many times, Mr. Thomas Lott. Thank you for coming on the 2Dawgs Sports Talk Show. We really do appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me, and it's always a pleasure to speak to people that kind of remembers. You know, it's been a while now. You know, those days be adding up. So it's been a while since myself and my crew were out doing our thing. So I appreciate people that still remember us.
Yeah, we're going to start a little bit. We're going to tell us a little bit now. You're originally from San Antonio, Texas.
Absolutely, yes. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I left there to come to the University of Oklahoma. I was really blessed to come with a class that was pretty special. You know, we're still known as one of the top recruiting classes in college football because there were 13 of us drafted and 4 went as free agents and played. And 2 of guys in my class, Billy Sims and George Gumby, had hardship, so they were able to come back one more year. So we had quite a group there, you know, but to look at it, about 19 of us that went pro that year.
Now coming from Texas, what made you want to come to the University of Oklahoma?
Well, that's one of those things where I end up being an All-American, and all of a sudden I was being recruited by practically everybody in the country. And I thought I was going to go visit a lot of schools. You know, I just said it was unlimited. You could go to as many visits as you wanted to back then. And my people could not afford for us to do much traveling when I was young. So the only traveling we really did was interstate, maybe to Houston or Dallas or, for a weekend or something. So I never really had an opportunity to visit other states and go around. And, some people get to leave the country, get to go on vacation places. We didn't get to do that. So when I got my opportunity, I was thinking I'm going everywhere. Every weekend I'm flying somewhere. I'm going, hey, I'm getting ready to go see this country if nothing else. And what happened was, after my third visit, it really got old quick because I'd leave Friday evening right after school, and I wouldn't come back until Sunday evening, and I just didn't have a weekend. And all of a sudden, it's like I'm gone. I don't get to enjoy the weekend at all. And I decided, I'm going to stop messing around. I'm going to get serious about what I'm doing and try to figure out the best place for me. And at that time, the Wishbone kind of helped me make that decision because I was all conference running back and all conference corner back, ran back punts, ran back kickoffs. So I did quite a bit. I never came off the field. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I played quarterback. I played about a year and a half before I went to college because of an injury to our quarterback my junior year. The second game, he tore his knee up, and during the game, the coach calls me to the sideline, and And he's telling me as I'm jogging over there, I need you to go to quarterback. And I didn't know he was talking to me. You know, I played a lot of positions, but I didn't really want to play quarterback, never thought about playing quarterback. And I tell people the story as I was jogging over there when he was kind of pointing my way and telling me that, I turned around to see who was behind me, and there wasn't anybody behind me. So I get to him, and he said, look, I need you to go to quarterback. I'm coach. Never played quarterback before. Don't really know what to do. He said, well, I will send a play in, and I'll tell them to tell you what to do. It was basically, I had a teammate, Billy Taylor, who ended up going to Texas Tech and playing for the New York Giants for a number of years. It was he and I, and he told me, well, I'll tell you to fake the Billy and keep it, or give it to Billy, you know, and that was pretty much it. And we both rushed for over 100 yards. And he told me after the game that I'm going to have to leave you at quarterback. I don't really have time to develop anyone else right now. And at the end of the year, I will, you know, put you back at your position. You're running back, cornerback. And I love playing football. I didn't want to come off the field. And I said, well, you know, I'm a team player. I'm going to do what I have to do to help us win. And I did everything I possibly could do that year. And the following year, I ended up being an All-American. And when I made that decision, okay, I'm going to have to hedge my bet by going to a wishbone school. That way, if they decided to leave me at quarterback, at least I didn't feel like I would be behind most of the other quarterbacks, because we didn't throw in high school. I really didn't know how to pass the ball. Could I throw a football? Yes, but so could some linemen. There's plenty of people can throw a football. There's a difference from throwing one and being a passer, and I just never was taught that until, you know, I got to the University of Oklahoma, where I started to learn a little bit, but not much.
So when Barry Switzer came and talked to you, did he let you know that he wanted you at a quarterback position, or did he want you for something else?
No, there was no question. All of the wishbone teams wanted me to play quarterback. So there was no question he was recruiting me as a quarterback. But the reason I was saying is there were a lot of schools recruiting me, and some of them were saying, yeah, we'll let you play running back. And some of them were saying, oh, yeah, we'll let you play corner. And then the wishbone schools were all adamant that they wanted me to play quarterback during the time when there were 4 black quarterbacks in major college, you know, not the historical black colleges. I'm talking about Division I schools. So, you know, the talk was out there that we as a black race were not smart enough to play that position, is what was being said here and there behind the scenes. So there were a lot of colleges that saying they might have moved, you know, let me play quarterback. But once I got there, would they leave me there? I don't know. I just thought if I went to wishbone school, leave me at quarterback, fine. I didn't feel like I was behind. Put me at running back, fine. Put me at wide receiver, fine. Put me at corner, fine. I was just a football player.
Well, with the class that y'all are coming in, because you had Billy Sims, you had Peacock, you had David Overstreet, all these running backs. Did you feel more comfortable at playing quarterback, or did you sort of want to play running back, or did you just say, I want to be a quarterback, I feel more comfortable at this spot?
I didn't care. I really didn't. As long wishbone was something that I had at least a year, like I said, a year and a half experience playing it. I knew how to read the option. So it didn't really matter to me where I played. I'm going to tell you this real quick. I tell people this periodically. So my freshman year, I get there, And like I said, I was not so keen on. I wasn't like, some guys want to play a certain position. Quarterback. You've been a quarterback. Your youth in high school. You want to play quarterback. I didn't really care, but there was this step that we had when my freshman year that was really throwing me off. It was throwing me off. I was struggling with that step because, believe it or not, we really didn't run a true triple option. When I first got there, some of it was predetermined. So I'm struggling with this step. So I'm angry. One day I'm just angry because it's just not working for me. So I go to Coach Switzer and I tell Coach Switzer, I don't want to play quarterback. I don't want to. And he's like, well, where do you want to play? And I'm like, I don't care, Coach. Put me anywhere. I'll play wide receiver. I'll play corner. I'll play running back. I don't care. Just I don't want to play quarterback. So he looks around the field for a second, and then he said, okay, go over there with the wide receivers. I go over there with the wide receivers, and that line is probably 12, 13 deep. So I get behind the line, wait my turn to come up, and finally get up there. I run a little quick out route, catch the ball, and go back into that long line. Well, I'm standing in that line, and I get this tap on the shoulder, and I turn around, and it's Coach Switch. He's like, okay, you got a chance to play another position. Now get your ass back over there with the quarterback. So I trot my butt on back over there, and I guess you could say the rest is history.
Yeah, because the name that your nickname that's not well known is you was Mr. Wizard. You was a wishbone wizard. What did you? How long did it really take you to really understand the nuances of running the triple option?
Well, what I've just said, and so I need to add this to it. So I stayed there, and that spring, we started truly reading the triple option. So that first semester, I struggled a little bit, and then we had a meeting. Quarterbacks had a meeting with the coaches, and they said, we are going to start reading the true triple option. And when we started doing that, that took that funky step away. And now because I'd already learned how to read in high school, so now the advantage went to me. So that spring, now I'm okay. I'm comfortable with where I am playing that position, and things start to fall into place for me.
Now, you became eventually at OU, you were the first black starting QB at OU. Did you understand the magnitude or how you will be the catapult for OU to have numerous black quarterbacks after that?
No, I did not understand what it meant at the time. I knew there were only a few of us in the country. I did know that, but I had no idea what I was bringing to the table, and my opportunity to get some other people to play that position. We've had a number of black quarterbacks since I played, and every one of them that I've met at that time, especially the next 10, 20 years, all kind of give me some credit for them being there. And I'm honored that they do that. So, no, answering your question, absolutely not. Did not understand the magnitude of what I was about to accomplish. To be quite honest with you, we did have a black quarterback there. Kerry Jackson was his name. And when I was first there, I was told by a number of people, "Oh, they're not ready to play a black quarterback, and they're not going to play you. Kerry's here, and Kerry didn't get to play." And what I didn't understand, there was some situations with Kerry that he didn't get to play, because that first spring, I was watching him and I was saying to myself, "Oh my God, why isn't he playing?" And then about a year and a half later, I really found out what was going on, what the true picture looked like, and I understood why he wasn't playing. But that left the door open for me to step in there and be the first black quarterback to start for the University of Oklahoma.
Now you used to wear the bandana. That's why I call you Mr. Bandana. When I was younger, that's what I remember. I remember that 2-bar face mask and that bandana. What made you start wearing that bandana?
I was vain. I'll be quite honest with you. Being a little vain, just cared about how I looked, cared about how I dressed. Those are things that were important to me. And I did not like the way my head looked. We had those afros.
Right.
Mine was big and spongy, and you put a helmet on and you could definitely see what the inside of your helmet looked like when you took it off. And I didn't quite like that. I was vain enough to want to have something to maybe hide that look. And I tried braiding my hair, could not handle that. Then I tried a stocking cap, didn't work. It would come off every time I took my helmet off. And we had a young man from Louisiana. His name was Doug Morgan. He would have been another one of those guys that would have been very special in our group. He ended up staying just that first year, and he left and went somewhere else. But he just wore a bandana. And one day we were sitting and talking, and he had his bandana on. I said, "Doug, teach me how to tie that." And he taught me how to tie it. The only difference between the way he wore it and the way I had to wear it was he tied his up, and there was a knot like right in the back of my neck where my helmet was. So because of that knot, I had to let it hang down outside of the helmet. Other than that, I just started wearing it. That first semester that I was at OU, I wore it. I should say that whole year, not just that semester. I wore it because I wasn't playing. I didn't start. And nobody said anything to me about it. Not one press person, not a coach, not a player. No one said anything to me about it. And that following year, I started against Texas. It just slowly started to turn into, basically have a life of its own. And right now, it basically has that. I mean, I don't go to too many places, especially functions, that people always ask me, what happened to those bandanas? And I happen to have one at all times. I like to tell people, you never know when I'm going to run into a Longhorn somewhere. I'm going to have to throw it on, and we're going to have to get it.
Now you got the life of NIL now. Can you, do you ever think about what it would be like if you were playing now, if you had NIL back then, to what you can do with those bandanas?
Do I think about it? My goodness, I worked really hard not to think about it. I know that. I mean, it was tough on us. We did not reap the benefits that we probably should have. That's why right now I don't feel sorry for the NCAA, the colleges. You know, some people ask me, well, don't you think it's ruining college football? And I'm like, no, because the people that ran college football, they ruined it. They should have taken care of the players when they had the opportunity to take care of them. They didn't. So I'm happy for the players now and reaping the benefits. They were selling T-shirts with my name on them. You know, that Oklahoma had different types of T-shirts with my name on them and jerseys with my name on them. And, you know, I know one in particular sold, I saw it a lot, and it was Sooners got a lot. That's what it said on there. And there was LOTT, not LOD. And I didn't get a penny for that, which you know, that's just the way it was, but we struggled. You know, people thought we were as good as we were. People were doing everything for us and doing different things for us. And that was not the case because, number one, people were afraid to get the university in trouble because we had just come out of being on probation. Switzer told us at the beginning of the year that the NCAA had an agent that was going to be in Norman all year, just waiting for us to trip somewhere and do something wrong. So we struggled, man. So I don't feel for anybody that's getting an opportunity right now. I don't feel for the organizations, the NCAA, because they should have taken care of players years ago. So I think it'll calm down 6-7 years from now. They'll learn some things, they'll change some things, come up with some rules that will help. But as of right now, they're getting what they deserve. There's chaos right now, and they deserve it because they didn't care when they had opportunity to care. They didn't.
So what was it, you know, going back to your playing days, what was it like to play with the amount of stars, NFL elite players that you played with? What was that like? What was the atmosphere?
We were family. You know, we looked at each other as brothers. You just don't get any closer than we were. There was none of that jealousy, none of that. I mean, the one thing that I learned about winning, you have to somewhere along the line become a family. If you're in championships, you have to care about each other. And that's the one thing that I did not see last year at the University of Oklahoma. They weren't family. They didn't care about each other the way we did. And part of it is because of the way college football is now. And part of it is because it takes time to really develop into being really friends. And as you look at the way college football is now, there's no athletic dorm. We lived together. We ate together. We traveled together. We did everything together. So it was easier for us to care about each other. When I say care about each other, I don't just mean offense. I'm talking about the whole team. You know, my roommate was a linebacker. You know, we were just family all around. We used to sit out in front of the dorm sometimes. We'd be 20 deep out there, you know, telling jokes, you know, mainly telling lies and complimenting each other on our lies, you know. But that's how we started to care about each other. And sometimes when it's hot, as it can be out there on the field, it's 110, 115 degrees, and you're wondering, why are you out there? What are you doing? And I would look around and I would see, you know, Greg Roberts or Daryl Hunt or Cumbie or Billy and King and Horace Ivory. Some of those names you named, Jimmy Rogers. I mean, I would see them working hard, and I wasn't going to let them down. That was what was missing with Oklahoma this year. The defense didn't play for the offense. Offense didn't play for the defense. And the kicking game was just kind of right there in the middle somewhere. Now, don't get me wrong, they had good plays, like individual plays. Receiver would have maybe a good game, or the quarterback would have a good quarter, or the linebackers would do what they were supposed to do, and individual accomplishments. But as a team, and I mean, if there was a bad series, as the offense would be leaving the field, our defense would be talking to us. Hey, don't worry about it. We're about to get the ball back. Don't worry about it. We got this handled. I watched them this year. Kansas State game is when I really saw that they're going to have to come together as a team. They're going to have to play for each other. And I watched the offense come off the sideline. The defense has just stopped the other team, got them in pretty good position. And the offense kind of jogged out there. I mean, they barely were getting out there with energy. And I said to myself, I don't think they're ready to play. And sure enough, 3 downs later, they were punting the ball. So they did not play for each other.
So do you think the transfer portal has hurt the family effect of the football team, college football all the way around, that transfer portal? Do you think that has hurt the programs and hurt what you have on the product that come on the field?
I think in certain situations it will hurt here and there, but that's another situation where you have been for a number of years holding guys hostage. Let's face it, there's some coaching out there that they're lying to players. There's no question. They've been doing it for years and telling guys that, you come to our school and, you're going to be this, and we're going to start you, and you're going to be, and when the guy gets there, there's a group of guys already there, and you don't get that opportunity that they're talking about. I always remember Coach Switzer told me, you'll get an opportunity. I'm going to give you an opportunity to play. He never told me that I was going to come there and start playing right away. And all these guys think that's what they're going to do. Unfortunately, they're so anxious to play because they've been told how good they are since they've been playing youth sports. It's very difficult for them to understand, as Coach Switzer used to say, if you stay, you'll play. And that was the thing. You work hard. You have to be realistic with yourself, watch film on yourself, and see what other people see what your coaches are seeing, and stop thinking about what you've already accomplished. So it's one of those things that, in a way it's a blessing, and in a way it could be a curse. It just depends on the individual. And some of these guys, I know a couple of guys right now that's been on 3 different teams. 3 different teams.
Wow. So
that tells me sometimes, yes, it's the coach's situation. But if you've been on if you've been on 2 teams, let's say you've left one team, you end up on another team, and things still aren't working the way you want them to work, maybe you should look in that mirror. Maybe it's not just the coaches that are having a problem. Maybe you're not performing, or not studying, not watching film, especially if you're on your 3rd team. I would definitely recommend you look at yourself and stop looking at what's going on outside of you.
Okay, Mr. Lott, I have a question for you. You being a black quarterback in the 70s, how much grief did you get from opposing teams or opposing media at that time?
Surprisingly enough, we lost 5 games the 4 years I was there. And I'm counting one, definitely. I count each one of them. But because we were winning, and the way we were winning, I really didn't get grief. People didn't, from other teams, I mean, people didn't talk trash to us. You know, I like to look at, we carried ourselves with class and dignity, and we won with class, and we definitely lost those games with class. There's been some teams that we have been compared to, or I should say, they've been compared to us because we were up before them. That they won a lot and traveled and had respect, but I just don't think they did it in a classy way. And we try to conduct ourselves with class. And the only time that people sent me letters, negative letters, because I had a lot of positive letters, and was when we lost. You know, we lost the game and we played Arkansas and lost to them quite a bit. It's just one of those things. I got a lot of mail that summer talking about I didn't wear the right bandana. I didn't, you know, it was just, oh gosh, they talked pretty bad, let me tell you. But most of those people, if they're going to write you bad mail or talk about you in a certain way, they will never put their name. I mean, they don't want you to be able to say anything back, and that's kind of the problem with the internet is there's so many people want to say what they want to say, and whether it's right or wrong, they don't want you to have an opportunity to address the situation. So I was pretty blessed. I was not ridiculed that much because we won a lot.
Now, this week you have the NFL draft. If you came out, say you play now, and you came out and they were allowing blacks to play quarterback and run in the option and read option, where do you think you'll probably get drafted today?
Oh my goodness. It has a lot to do with our offense that we ran. You know, our offense was not pass-oriented offense. Now they run a lot of pass-oriented offenses, and I don't even think I would be playing quarterback now. You know, if I was playing during these times, I wouldn't be playing quarterback. I'd be playing running back or corner. I'd be in another position and be just as happy doing those things because once I said before, I was a football player. I didn't like coming off the field. I loved playing, so I would not play quarterback at all. And speaking of running the option in the NFL, I was told that we could not run the option in the NFL because the quarterbacks would get murdered, is what I was told. Oh, they kill the quarterback, you know, and I strongly disagree with that. That is not true. If they would have let me run the option, it would have been very dangerous because they would not have any idea how to stop running the option in the NFL. They wouldn't have known what to do. Now, with that being said, I get drafted by the Cardinals. Bud Wilkinson, who coached at OU many, many years before I was even there, we were working on the option. Nobody knew it. We had been working on it for 3 weeks.
Wow.
And the week before we were about to actually play it, he ended up quitting or got fired. I don't know how you want to say it, but we never got the opportunity to run it. I was looking so forward to it because most of those guys, I started as a sophomore. And most of those guys, I had played against a lot of those guys. You don't get any bigger and faster. You work on your strength and stuff, but as far as reading the option, I was used to playing against those guys. I was looking so forward to it because my best reading days were against the better athletes, the better, well-coached athletes, because those that weren't well-coached or well-trained, that weren't very disciplined, I struggled with them because you never knew what they were going to do. They'd be going backwards and looping around, and it took me a little while to get used to what they were doing. But the Texases and Nebraskas, the really good, the disciplined defenses, those guys were a piece of cake. I just love playing against them.
Now, when y'all were working on it at the Cardinals, could the defense stop it?
Well, we didn't go live because I knew how to run it, but it's going to take a little bit for the backs to learn to do it. It's not an easy thing because you have to be able to block in that offense. And we weren't going to run it like the wishbone. How we had designed to run it was, we had O.J. Anderson. If you remember him, he was Rookie of the Year that year. He was going to be the tailback. I was going to be at fullback. And the quarterback was going to hand me the ball. Now, if that tackle had come across, then I was going to go cut down the line as if I had been the same quarterback. I was going to take that step with my left or right, and then go down the line and option off the end to OJ.
Wow.
Now, had he jumped out, then I was just going to go ahead and take that hole and then cut back outside and pick OJ up coming around the end. So we were going to line up in the eye and run it from that formation. They wouldn't have known what to do.
So you all modified it and switched it
Absolutely.
up. Wow.
Right.
But
it still would have been the option, though. It still would have been the option. I still would have been optioning off that end. And the one thing I had learned is how to take shots from guys. I had learned to do that in high school. Didn't know what I was preparing for at the time, but I had learned to do that. I mean, you think about, I missed 3 games and started for 3 years running that very physical offense.
Wow. Now, like I said, you're dealing with the football now. You had Aaron Rodgers that he finally got traded to the Jets this week. Do you think that's going to put the Jets over the hump, or do you think Kansas City, Buffalo, those are still the big dogs?
Well, there's no question. They're going to be big dogs. There's no question there. They have the chemistry. They already have the players they need to do what they need to do. I mean, it takes time. It takes time. One player coming in there will help you. There's no question. But they're going to have to learn to play together. They're going to have to learn to play for each other. When you do have someone come in there like Aaron Rodgers, the rest of the guys are going to have to get to, they're going to have to learn how to deal with him. He's going to have to learn how to deal with them. The coaches are going to have to learn how to deal with Aaron. There's a lot of things that need to be worked out, and it takes time to work that out. That's one of the things that really hurt Oklahoma last year. And they were put into a serious situation when you're talking about getting a new head coach, them bringing in 10 new assistants.
Wow.
There's a whole football team that half of those guys he would not have recruited. They were there because of a totally different style of football. So now he has to go get his players and bring them in there. And last year, you have to gain the respect as a player of your coaches, and your coaches have to gain respect from the players. There was just so many things that the University of Oklahoma had to overcome that you could just see it was going to be, practically impossible for them to be where the fans are used to seeing that team. And on top of that, a lot of people don't look at, OU had 3 quality quarterbacks at one point, 3 of them. And by the time the season started, they only had 1 good quarterback. They lost 3 of them. One was I believe it's SMU. Was it Mordecai? I think that was his name.
Yes.
He was a quality quarterback. He ended up going to SMU, and I think it was SMU. I could be wrong. And then you have Rattler was there, and then you had Caleb was there. And you think about it, we had 3 quality quarterbacks. And then all of a sudden, this for me was the biggest mistake that the University of Oklahoma made was when they hired the offensive coordinator and he brought Gabriel in there. They made it known that Gabriel was the starting quarterback. They made that known. And when they did that, even they had, 600 and something plus people in the portal, none of those quarterbacks were going to come to Oklahoma because they were leaving where they were because they're not getting playing time. So you just don't advertise that this is our starting quarterback. Let some guys come, and you might find, somebody that ends up being special. And all they did was cut that off for themselves, and I think that was a great mistake that they made. And I'm not saying that Gabriel's not good. He is good. There's no question at this point. But is he great? I don't think he's great yet. He could end up being great this year, but at the University of Oklahoma, we've been so fortunate with great quarterbacks. Yeah. So fortunate. That's what everybody sees.
Last question before we have to get off here. OU, this is their last year in the Big 12. They go into the SEC in 2024-25 season. How do you think they will fare in the SEC? And how do you think this new rearrangement where you got USC going to a Big 10 and you got OU and Texas going to SEC? That's a 2-part question. How do you think OU is going to fare in the SEC, and how do you think the whole arrangement of all these teams moving conferences is going to work out?
Well, as far as the University of Oklahoma, we are the University of Oklahoma. We can recruit. We can go all over this country, out of this country. I mean, we have that. It's like USC has the same thing, Texas, they've been struggling for a few years, but I do see that we need help. I mean, we've got to recruit a different style of athlete. If we're going to be in that conference, they are coming right at you. Their cornerbacks are 200, 205 pounds, strong people. When they come up to that run, they better come up strong. We don't have that yet. We're in a passing conference. We had a defensive back a couple of years ago. He was 165 pounds. We've had defensive backs that were 175, 180. If we try to go to SEC with guys that are that weight stuff like that, we are going to get trucked constantly. So we have got to change, and that's what Brent is here to do. I mean, he helped make Clemson what they were, and he knows these schools that he can go to, and he has a good reputation at recruiting out of some of these schools. He's going to need to go and get some of those players from those areas to come here and change the style of football that's been played here, that's played in the Big 12. It's a different style. Alabama came in the Big 12, it would be different for them. In the passing game, your defensive linemen are running from sideline to sideline. You have to have a good group of them. These secondary people, as far as coming up and making tackles, they spread you out in the Big 12. So you get you one-on-one constantly. So it's such a different style of football. They're going to have to recruit people to play that new style in the SEC. That's for sure, along with learning each other. They're going to have to get better. They're going to have to learn to become a family and work hard as a team. Now the USC is going all the way across the country and playing. Boy, I'll tell you, I would want to do it. I played in some games where when the game was over with, and we were in Los Angeles from New York, and you are beat up, your body is hurting, everything on you is hurting, and you got this long flight to go across the country. And now that they're in that conference, they're going to be doing that 3-4 times a year, and same with the other teams. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that works out and how that's going to affect the teams. But let's face it, USC is one of those teams that they have that kind of power to do some recruiting and get what they need. And there's a few teams out there like that. They can recruit all over the country. So I'm not going to feel sorry for them, but I will tell you, we are the University of Oklahoma, and we're going to fight through it. It may take us a couple of years to get where we're used to being, but we'll get there.
All right, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Now, before we get off here, we always have our guests take 30 seconds and say some encouraging words to the audience. And so if you can take 30 seconds and say some encouraging words to our audience, we never know if we have young people or who might be listening.
Well, I will say this. Anything that you do, you're going to have to be, well, let's just say that's who you need to be. Do the right things. Most of the people that are listening, especially the youngsters that are listening, if you're going to be an athlete, you have an obligation to conduct yourself in a proper manner and do the right things, because there are athletes out there that we hear about every day that are doing things they don't have any business doing, and it makes us all look bad. So I figured that we have to watch out for each other. We have to do the right things, because I represent everybody who's been an athlete in the past, everyone who's going to be an athlete. I represent you, so I'm going to do the right things. And you, as a young man or young lady, are going to represent me. And I ask you to conduct yourself in a proper manner so that we can get some of this negative things that people say about athletes out of the press.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for coming on the 2Dawgs Sports Talk Show. Hey, we're going to have to meet in person. I never was able to meet you when I was younger with my uncle. I met Billy Sims, and the Selman brothers grew up with my parents. So, but I never was able to meet you. So one day I hope soon that I'll be able to meet you in person.
You are in Tulsa, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I do camps in Tulsa. Okay. I have an all sports camp that I do that I start in June. And we're going to be at Haskell, Okemah, Fowler, Glenpool, Bristol, Omogi, Willita, and Kellyville. And all of June, the last Thursday and Friday in June, we will be around there. I will send you a schedule, and you get an opportunity to come. You're welcome to come by. And it's an all sports camp. It's for young ladies, young men, and what I like to do is I work my areas of concentration on speed, quickness, agility, and balance. Those are the key areas. If you're not getting better in those 4 areas, someone is. And sooner or later, you're going to compete against them, and it might not be very pretty. But I will get you this information. Drop by my camp. I'll be in the Tulsa area.
Okay. All right. Will do. Thank you. I really do appreciate you coming on, and you have a blessed and awesome rest of the week.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you guys talking to me.
All right. You have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. You also.
That was Mr. Thomas Lott, Mr. Wishbone with. Hey, man. We some of these guests, we can just talk because there's so much information that they have that we can't even get to.
Bro is very well spoken, and he can talk, bro.
Yeah.
If we would have been 2 hours, we would have been on here for 2 hours, bro. Easily. Because he wasn't stopping, he was going the long version of the answer.
Yeah, and that's what you deal with, and you like it. But when you do the long version, now you having more questions that you now you have more questions that you want to ask. Because I'm like, okay, let's talk a little bit more about these practices, and it makes your mind, it makes you start thinking and want to go the long version. Hey, but we got some awesome guests, man. They're coming on. We got some awesome ones in the future. We're working on some things. We're working on the Boone brothers coming in. Okay. I've been in contact with them.
The basketball players. Yeah.
Trying to get them both of them be playing at UNLV this year. Okay. So we're working on that, trying to get them. So we got a lot of guests coming up this summer, but hey,
stick with us.
Yeah, hey, man, that was awesome. Man. I love that, man. Yeah. I love it, especially when you grew up with it and you seen it growing up and you seen it live. And so
but he played for the Cardinals and he played for the New Jersey Generals in the USFL. Yeah, and I looked up his stats. He had like 1,400 rushing yards and like 300 passing.
That's all.
So I mean, they ran the triple option to death.
That's all they did. That's all they did was run that triple option.
But I guess, I guess for us, we ran the triple option, but it was, I guess we didn't get so used to it. We knew how to defend it.
But OU, man, OU back then was the cream of the crop. This is his class. His class was Cumbie, Billy Sims. He had Peacock was on that team. David Overstreet was on that team. You had J.C. Watts as a backup on that team. You had Dean Blevins on that team. Okay. You had the Selman brothers.
So so we had a Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah. And 19 cats that went to the NFL.
Yeah. You had
all on that one squad.
Yeah. OU. This is why people get so upset with OU now, what they see, because they knew what it was back then. I'm talking about, you go back and look at films, they was headhunting.
Yes.
And they was going all out. Yeah. And you wasn't no pushing around OU.
Nah.
Think about this. They played against Nebraska in, I think it was 78. They was ranked number 1. OU was ranked number 1. Probably over half that season. They played against Nebraska. OU fumbled the ball 9 times. Nebraska recovered 6 of them. Final score was only 17-14 Nebraska.
So I mean, if they got the fumble, they didn't score.
Yeah. So 17-14 Nebraska.
I bet that was a heck of a game, though.
But imagine a team fumbling the ball now 9 times.
Oh yeah, they get blown out. Blown out. It'd be 63-6.
They fumbled the ball 9 times. Other team recovered 6, and they only lost by 3.
Yeah, that means your defense was stout, and it was some showing of slobber knocking going on off in them holes.
Yeah. Hey, we want to thank y'all for listening. I know we didn't get to the NBA today, this week. Hey, but when we got special guests coming on, we have to
consolidate our show so we can let our peoples talk. So if y'all got a problem with it, holler at me.
See, don't be, that is from not the views of the 2Dawgs Sports Talk Show or KBOB. So if y'all come holler, you come holler at Yo. Don't come to me and Trey. We ain't got nothing to do with it.
Hey, I take on all comers.
Well, we want to thank y'all for listening to the 2Dawgs Sports Talk Show today. Hey, I want to thank our special guest, Mr. Thomas Lott, formerly of the Oklahoma Sooners, first black starting quarterback of the Oklahoma Sooners, triple option, wishbone wizard. We want to thank him for coming on the show. We want to thank y'all for listening. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure y'all tune in next week. We're going to be talking ball next week because the basketball NBA playoffs is heating up.
Yep. The draft.
Can the Milwaukee Bucks come back from a 3-1 deficit? We don't know.
Yes.
Will the Lakers finish out Memphis?
Yes.
What's going to happen between Golden State and Sacramento is tied 2-2.
Golden State is going to win. Fox is hurt.
New York Knicks. Will the Cleveland Cavaliers come back?
Ladies and gentlemen, the all new KBOB 0.9 FM, Black on Black Community Radio
Show and KBOB 89.9 would like to say thank you to all of our listeners and sponsors who donate to help keep our media program alive, reaching the community. The Juice Radio Network continues to expand as influencers in the community of North Tulsa and beyond, but can't do that without your help. That's why it's important that we as a community continue to support the Juice Radio Show and keep 89.9 on the air. The community not only deserves this service, but needs this service. Let's continue to support the mission and giving a voice to the voiceless and donate to the Juice Radio Show. The Juice Radio Show is a nonprofit 501c3 powered by KBOB 89.9 and Eden Media Services, operating solely off the gifts, donations, and contributions made by listeners like yourself. All donations made to the Juice Radio Show are tax deductible and can be sent to 1216 North Lansing Avenue, Suite D, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74106.
It's Tulsa, I see you here in Tulsa. I'm in Tulsa chilling.
We appreciate your continued support and thanks for listening to KBOB 89.9 FM.